We're on number 1 on our Pre-Calculus Semester A review packet. We're asked to sketch the graph of the piecewise function. Remember, we always start our graphs with a data table. So the first part of my data table is going to be for f of x, or y equals x squared. Now, it says when x is less than 0, so we need to know what's happening at 0. We're going to start our table at 0, but because it says less than and not equal to, we're going to put an open circle next to it, just to remember that we're going to start this graph with an open circle. We're interested in x values less than 0. Okay, so we're going to include values -1, -2, and -3. Now let's plug those into the function, and we get 0 squared is 0, -1 squared is 1, -2 squared is 4, and -3 squared is 9. Remember, these values are going to go on forever and ever. So let's go ahead and at least plot this part of our graph. At x equals 0, our y value is also 0, and we have an open circle there. We also have a value at -1, 1, -2, 4, -3, 9. And notice that what we're getting here is half of a parabola. Now, we should have expected that because our graph did say y equals x squared. Now let's do the rest of the graph. In this case, it says the square root of x plus 1 when x is greater than or equal to 0. We're going to start our second data table here. This is the part where f of x is equal to the square root of x plus 1. Now again, our data table is going to start at 0, but this time we're going to remember to put a closed circle next to it because it says x greater than or equal to 0. We're interested in the values greater than, so we're going to complete our x side of our table with values bigger than 0, like 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to plug those in. Now, square root of 0 is 0 plus 1 is 1. Square root of 1 is 1 plus 1 is 2. Now, square root of 2 and square root of 3 are not easy to do, so let's just ignore those for a moment, and let's take a value that is easier. Square root of 4 is 2 plus 1 is 3. I think that should give us enough values. We do know that this table continues, but we might as well work with values that are easy to work with. So at 0, I have a closed dot at 1. At x equals 1, I have a value at 2. And at x equals 4, I have a value at 3. Now remember, this was a square root graph, so we expect it to look just like that. Now, that is our piecewise function. X values less than 0, starting with an open circle. Going less than, we get half a parabola, x squared. And with values greater than or equal to 0, starting with this closed circle here, we get values that are a square root function that's just been shifted up 1.